Everyone, thanks. Puck.
Sorry, stand by really quick.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh,
This,
all right.
Yep. Puck Studios
is
having
the,
some technical difficulties,
Yep,
so stand
this is
by.
the BJM show. So
Should I reach
Yep.
for the Kraken
Yep.
bottle right now?
I'll tell you what, though, guys. We'll just go ahead and get the
let's keep it
questions,
moving
keeping them
here.
on rolling here.
But thanks everyone to sticking around. There you go. He's back.
Oh, there
Sorry,
he is. Okay.
I had the little fur baby in, so
All right.
sorry,
All
my
right.
bad.
All good.
Dusky.
All right.
All right. I'll just go ahead and run one off here just to kind of get the show going again. Absolute must-have aircraft in your opinion. Let's just go ahead and limit it to 2 per each sim. Go ahead.
Wait, why don't we do one per sim per person? So we
That's
have
what I
8
meant. Yeah.
total.
Well, I was
okay,
thinking
sorry.
Person, but
Gotcha.
All right.
one's kind
Brad.
of hard.
Oof, really?
I don't know if just
I think
one.
it's pretty. I think it's pretty clean cut. Anyway, Brad,
Well,
you
here,
start it
I'll-
off.
What's your
I'll
answer?
go.
Let's hear it.
We're all gonna have the same
I'll
one.
go. Okay, so
Okay, Puck, start.
X-Plane, you gotta have that Zebo. Gotta have that Zebo. P3D, that's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Puck, all right, on to
yeah,
next
No,
one.
you
Let him
gotta have
finish.
Zebo
Let
for
him
X-Plane.
finish.
You gotta. I mean, it's free. Come on, you gotta have it. P3D, I gotta go with. You gotta have the FS Labs. At least one of the variants. Doesn't matter which one, in my opinion. But well, you gotta have the 320. But that's probably the best one for P3D, in my opinion. What do you guys got?
Yeah, TBM for X-Plane. I'm gonna go ahead and steal Max's as well on that one. I'm sure I'll beat with
Mine
that.
as
But
well.
honestly, I mean, PMDG quintessential. I mean, just pick something up from their fleet. You know, I mean, I don't know. I just think there's, FS Labs. Sure, they have the 320, 321, 319, but they have the 747, 777, 737. Right? You got a lot more to work with. Just pick something out of their fleet. That's a pretty diverse portfolio when compared to FS Labs, just in terms of type and size. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just go out there and say TBM every day of the week for X-Plane and the FS Labs, either the 19, 20, or 21 would be my pick in P3D.
I'm gonna go with the Wright Flyer in P3D and the Bell 407 for X-Plane.
This guy.
No, I'll echo it. Yeah, TBM 900. The problem is that there's some people that are tube only. So I will say if you're tube only oriented and so we have to go outside of the TBM, I would definitely say the I would definitely say the Fly Factor 757.
That's
if you're tube oriented. As far as a solid LNAV, VNAV, as much as I hate to say it, that Zebo I love, but you got to go if you're all about 737s, you probably should have both the Zebo and the NGXU. As far as P3D by itself, I'm gonna go with the NGXU, and then it's so hard, but I'd say the FS Labs family, but it's so hard not to put that 777 in that recommendation category.
We love the triple, John. Oh, we love it.
But
Agreed.
notice how we didn't really say a lot of GA aircraft for P3D. Go ahead, Max.
No, yeah, TBM and FS Labs. That's my go-to.
And
I
a
did
year
see
ago, my answers would have been a little bit different. It would have been TBM and Zebo for sure.
Yeah.
Love you, Zebo.
I did see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No,
Okay.
you're. I noticed something in chat. Somebody said FS Labs is so expensive though, but really the FS Lab. You think about it, the 777 for PMDG is a 7-year-old product for P3D. It might be a little bit older. That's 130, I believe.
Well, how much
I
is the
can't remember.
747? The 747's
The
almost 200.
747's 140.
Well, plus the add-on too.
Plus
This-
plus
I mean,
the
that's
add-on.
So if you look about that, FS Labs 320, 2119, you're $200 in. 747, 400 freighter, and 800, you're $200 in. I mean, people get so upset. Risk Games, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. People get really upset with FS Labs. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. But you look at other developers, PMDG, and all that kind of stuff. I think we're going into a realm of this community now where level D quote unquote airplanes are going to be a minimum of $100 to $150 per airplane per release. That is where we are going at least in the P3D sector. X-Plane, I think there's still some time to get to that point, but in P3D, I don't think we're ever going to see an airplane of that quality that is less than that, 80, 90, 100 plus. I just think the planes are getting too good, and for us to have unrealistic expectations of we're going to be able to get a $60 airplane that's going to blow our minds, I think those days have gone a long time ago.
Yep, prices today will never be lower. That's
honestly, I think our prices have never been lower. But honestly, I think the only plane that can really compete in that $60-$65 range is the TBM. And we've all, I mean, except for me with the Zibo, but we all said the TBM. Or
It's a different
Yeah.
category,
P3D.
though.
It is a different category, of course, but when it comes down to it, the TBM is the closest to the real TBM that I've ever seen. And I don't know, I think I have probably
And here's the
7 or 8
beauty:
hours.
is we have this new sim announced, right? And you see a little bit of a pause from developers,
Yep.
but not from Hotstart. He is continuing to push out those updates for the TBM. And the way that he's programmed that plane, it also has a little bit of independence from what platform it's based on, a little bit, because it's written in a code that is a little more transportable. But I will say that we are lucky that we have so many options. I did a survey recently, and I published the results on my Discord and on my Twitch stream. 82 aircraft that I've acquired, and 79 of those are payware, and across both sims, right? Just a like a half a dozen on P3D because I'm getting back into that realm. But I'll say that there's 25 aircraft in there that I will continue to fly in that, and the majority of them are in X-Plane. So we have a lot of options. Isn't it a beautiful world? Let's support our developers. And yeah, it may be unfortunate for the guy who can't maybe afford to shell out the money for an FS Labs right now. You save for it, you're not going to regret it. The PMDG, you save up for it, you're not going to regret it. And let's okay, how much does it cost right now in the real world to go hire an instructor and rent a Skyhawk? How much is it for 1 hour?
This is the
And then how
problem.
many hours are you going to spend in that NGXU or that 747 or 777 or
Agreed.
TBM? How many
Yep.
hours are you going to spend in that sim enjoying it? And it's all about return on investment, right? And how many, it's 3 hot dates to sushi is an FS Labs.
But
The
but
biggest
John,
problem, though.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one quick thing. Sorry to interrupt, but scenery. We talk about airplanes, right? We're spending $120 on an airplane, and
Yeah.
we get to fly that thing for maybe 50, 100 hours. We can fly that thing anywhere in the world. We buy a scenery now for $30 to $40 for one airport. How often do we go, how often do we go to
You're
that
paying
one?
$40. Jeez.
How often do we go to that one airport? Probably, I don't know, once every 2 months, 3 months. So if you're looking for cost to efficiency on that scale, I mean, $120 airplane is cheap compared to one airport for $35. So sorry to interrupt, Brad. Go ahead.
And on that note, I will give X-Plane the point for ease of airport scenery being available at a very, very low cost and or free compared to P3D. For example, I am doing the VATSIM FNO this Friday. I have to go buy Atlanta from Imagine Sim, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or P3D,
Granted,
yeah.
I'll probably fly into Atlanta, maybe once a quarter, unless there's another FNO. Maybe, okay, let's just say I'm going to fly in there 6 times. I'm going to spend, I think it's 25 euros for that aircraft or for that airport. But I'm going to do it just because, well, for one, I just don't like the default. I don't like the default aircraft in P3D. So we got to give X-Plane the point there.
I gotta say, as a streamer, the justification for buying things goes far beyond just whatever is
Personal
going
pleasure.
on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to make sure it is the most visually pleasing, the most whatever you want to have it. For me, it's visually pleasing, right? So I don't want to take you to default Atlanta. I want to take you to this magical Imagine Sim Atlanta where everything is nice and shiny and crispy and beautiful. Yeah,
Yep.
it costs you about $30, but that's just what you have to do sometimes. You have to foot the bill for that. It's just how it works. And I think there's a bit of a different expectation for certain streamers, at least. Some people just don't care. They just go right for it. But I like to have the very best at all times and make sure it looks, grade A, high quality. and that we're enjoying it, visually at least. So I think that's a huge thing. So again, justification wise, I think there's a bit of a different expectation for just consumer versus maybe streamer in that regard.
You are definitely denting my wallet, Brad, with all of your sceneries. I had to go buy San Juan for too, so
That's just John. I'm sorry, but it's just
the way it is.
how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Good
there
question.
There are quite a few IRL questions in here. I'm just gonna we'll get through them like as we go. I'll try to mix them in. Verity asks, what are all your hopes and dreams for the honeycomb throttle and potentially rudder pedals? I'm gonna point this to one person. I'm gonna point this right at Mr. Brad M because he was so adamant about getting this honeycomb. So let's hear it, Brad. What are you thinking about the throttles and the potential pedals?
I don't even know about the pedals, and I'm not buying the throttle. So there you have
And
it.
why is that?
Well, first of all, the pedals, I don't even know they were a thing, but the throttle, I just don't have hardware for it. I have a nice, beautiful, big L desk here, plenty of real estate, but not for that. That's just after seeing it in person, it's, it's crazy big is the bottom line. I don't have room to put that. I mean, even the yoke takes up quite a bit of space. So I think I'm happy with the X56. I'll save the $200 and buy some other fun stuff to mess around with for the stream instead. I don't know. It's great. It looks fun, but I don't know if I necessarily need another throttle, right? The joystick was a hard one enough, right? Just get the joystick. I'm good to go. Do I need the yoke? No, but I wanted it and I got it. And it was a worthy investment for me. But, I don't know if I need another throttle to just, flip gear and do this and that and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's move on. I'm gonna try to direct questions more at singular people just so that we can save some time because we got quite a few questions.
Paul, can I just
and
say
if
one thing
people-
quickly?
Yeah, go for
You
it.
can never go wrong with CH product pedals. That's just my last point of the evening. Yep.
I actually agree with that.
They're the best. They're
Mine
the
are
best. So anyway, that's my. Yep. Sorry, continue.
I'm liking mine still.
We
and
love
they're
them. They're just rock
10
solid.
years old.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
fantastic.
Oh, dear.
Nothing to see here.
You're
Nothing to
supposed
see
to
here.
came off
Kraken-
that one.
the Kraken's-
Yikes. The Kraken.
The Kraken's here.
Yikes, folks. You didn't see that. That was just behind the scenes look here at the the PB&J.
A little bit of technical difficulties tonight. Oh man. Okay. Well, I know for sure Brad has done DCS online on stream. John, I'm not sure if you have, and Max, I'm pretty sure you haven't, and I don't think I have. But Mr. Mike, Simcrash Mike asks us, would any of you ever fly DCS online together? And I think I just answered that question. Brad has. John, have you?
I own several aircraft in DCS, and I had a great tutorial from Yuki Notora.
I recall that vividly, and the F-18.
And I had a great time. I think it's a sim that visually is stunning. The systems level on that Hornet was absolutely fantastic. And I was tempted by that Tomcat, but it's just one of those things where I have a limited amount of time and I just haven't put it into the rotate. I guess it hasn't. It's great, but it just didn't interest me enough. It seems like one of those sims that you have to go into it on a regular basis in order to really grasp all of the procedures and the flows and everything like that. And if you're doing it once a quarter, you get really rusty fast. And
That's how I felt.
yeah, and so I like the visuals. To be honest with you, I've never been online. I've never been in combat. In fact, I very rarely see other streamers in combat. I see like strafing runs or this, that, and the other. But then again, I haven't stayed long enough. There's some fantastic YouTube tutorials out there, and I think it's a great sim, but it's all about a balance of time. And, it's the same thing with, sorry to take a tangent away from DCS for just a second. I'll let you guys focus on the DCS. But it's like VATSIM controlling. I took the initial exam, and I passed it, and I was going to continue my training. But I feel like controlling is the same way. If it's not something that you're going to do on a regular basis, you're probably not going to do it very well. And that's not to say that I do my jets or my aircraft very well, but I'm highly motivated from a personal standpoint. that sim, I think you'd probably have to be controlling once or twice a week to get up to a level that I would feel comfortable with and competent enough as would be my learning scale. So yeah, I don't see DCS anytime in the near future for me, but not to say it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Josh.
bored at DCS right now.
Hey,
I
Josh.
just-
Josh, thank you for 31 months, by the way, buddy, and many cookies
Ooh.
coming your way. But just DCS thing, I've done it, I think, 2 times. I bought the airplane, bought all the packs. I've done it 2 times with Ty, who streamed it once in a while. I don't love it. It's not really my thing. It's a super cool sim. It's but just not really my thing.
It's a whole different style.
It's a whole different
flavor.
style. And I think, just on a side note, Chewy summed it up for me from a streamer's point of view a couple days ago on his stream. He said, it is very tough for content creators that stream exclusively one platform, call it Flight Simulator, let's say Microsoft, P3D, or we want to go to X-Plane, to then do a completely different type of content, and the viewers to still be engaged in the same level, which I thought was interesting, and I hadn't really thought about like that. But I think, and you stream, one sort of thing, that really is kind of a good thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my point.
But I will say, and in closing on that, from John Fly's perspective, there is the whole balance of what do people want to see, and then sometimes you as a streamer should just do what you want to do for fun.
Yep.
And that's why I truck, and that's why I do this new Rec Fest, and that's why I do a couple other things, and I just installed COD, Call
Tonight.
of Duty Modern
Yep.
Warfare.
Yep,
Tonight's
big
your,
stuff
your
tonight.
First,
I just
your
wanna
first
say
game
to
tonight
you-
with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say to you all, if you're streaming or what have you, make sure that on occasion you do things that you find enjoyable regardless of the viewership. I'm sorry, viewers, but sometimes you just need to just truck your butt off and just relax, and it doesn't matter, and you just do what makes you happy. And I think ultimately that makes you a better, I don't know, it just makes you happier. You don't burn out.
It makes the streams way better. If you enjoy what you're doing as a streamer, it comes
Yeah.
across 10 million folds for the viewer. It's
Yeah.
obvious. I've watched streams where you can just see the streamer's miserable. You don't want to watch that. When the streamer's having fun, that is makes it so intoxicating to watch. If it
Yeah.
could be anything from, I know when Plain Ben does the air traffic control at LAX, I love that. He loves it. He's
Yeah.
into it. I'm into it. It is just awesome. You know what I mean? And it's so obvious when the streamer is passionate about what that he or she is doing. And I think that's what makes a good stream. So I think, John, that is a fantastic point. Yeah.
And to go off of that, if you look at the chat,
here
there's
we
a
go.
lot of
Whee!
iRacing
Here we
things
go.
about me.
There it
doing
was.
that.
We knew
Here we
it
go.
was
There we go.
coming.
It's
Limited.
coming.
Okay, you're allowed.
So-
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Preach. Go ahead.
Yes, I am taking a little bit of a hiatus, not as much into the whole flight sim thing. And honestly, tonight has really helped get me back into it, because this is a ton of fun to talk about all this
This was
stuff.
an intervention. This wasn't a
was,
This
yeah.
was.
PB&J+M.
This is not PB&J, folks. This
This
is
is
an
This is an
intervention.
intervention. But
Um,
enjoy the iRacing. That's what
but
we're
honestly,
Yeah.
the thing, the whole thing about that is the reason I do iRacing is because I've found a new sought talent, and I think I'm decent at it, and there's a lot more to do. There's a lot more progress that I need to make, and my whole goal for the end of this year is to go for the pro championship on iRacing, or at least get into it. I don't think I can win. I'm not good enough for that, but my whole thing is I'm trying to push myself to be better, because I've wanted to be a pro on iRacing for the last 10 years, and this year it's finally clicking. And I like showing my progression and my whole spiel about it. And I'm working with a great team, and so I thought, if I'm not going to be spending as much time on flight sim, I might as well still
Stream.
stream it. And
Yeah.
I think it helps me, because I'm finding a whole new side of things. The people that I've met in iRacing, I'm racing with them regularly. And so when we're duking it out, when we're cutting each other off and we're diving to the inside of each other, it makes it more fun, because you have you know who they are. It's the same thing if I do a group flight with John, Brad, or Max. Like it's fantastic. So
We miss you, Puck. We miss
do.
you on the
We do
good
miss you.
flights.
Hey.
We miss you on the streams. You know, we're not driving fast cars. We're driving fast planes.
hey,
You know?
I'm still here, and the thing
You
is,
do you. You
I do it.
you.
I do IRL
And,
flying.
and do it with
so,
a sippy poo.
You know, a little sippy poo. Yeah, a little sippy poo every
But
once
come
in a
home
while.
once in a while.
I will. Oh, of course. And I
Come
have.
home.
I've every
Right
couple-
home. Right home. Make sure we're doing okay, and don't forget about
The
us.
thing is, the thing is, Puck, is if your absence is actually felt, that says something. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying?
and I agree. I just needed
Yeah.
to take a little bit of time because stuff weighs down on
I've
you.
done the iRacing. If they didn't have a monthly fee, I'd probably dabble in it from time to time. But
Yeah, it's the monthly fee is what kills a lot of people. But that's where we're at. We're going to
There you
continue
go.
back on to the questions. But good question.
Yeah. What's the next one we got going on here? Let's see.
All right. Oh, I forgot to delete this one.
Oh,
Sorry,
nice.
sorry. RC Flyer asks, if you could say one thing to Austin right now, what would it be? Mr. John Fly,
John
because
Fly,
you were
take
Mr.
it away.
X-Plane,
Take it away.
This is all you.
all right, the one thing oh wow, okay, the one thing that I would say to Austin is that you, my friend, not you personally, but you need to get a part of your team to look at incorporating some sort of API or whatever technology you need to bring in the Google Earth or the Bing Maps or something of the level that we're going to see. You need to investigate it. We know you have orthophoto. You were ahead of the game. And also, Austin, secondly, come into Twitch, X-Plane, Laminar team, staff, come into Twitch, hang out with us. Promote the Brad M stream when he's doing his TBM 900.
Yep.
Promote
Labs for life.
the CitationMax stream when he's flying the Coronado 1900D on Pallet Edge. Promote. That's what I was gonna say to Austin.
That is big.
But also, Austin, thank you for your persistence in really being in there since the early 90s. Before CitationMax and Puck was born, probably, you started a flight sim. You've created something that's fantastic. And because of you, we are where we are today. I think it's really spurred the other flight simulation platforms to up their game. So let's keep upping the game back and forth.
Agreed. Spot
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Well said, John.
I like that one. Thank you, RC Flyer, for that question. That was a really
All
good
right.
one.
Perfect.
Okay, now let's start going into the Microsoft Flight Sim because
Oh boy, here we
This
go.
is
We'll be
this
up
is
to
Welcome to Twitch. I'm sorry, Virtual
huge
GAs is coming over from Max's YouTube channel. Thank you,
Oh.
Virtual
Oh,
GAs.
yeah.
Sorry.
thank you,
tangent.
Virtual GA.
welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, so this is this has been a huge topic for the last 7 months that we haven't been doing the PB&J. Now with the addition of Max,
Thank you.
the
been-
whole thing with Microsoft Flight Sim, I love it. I love the whole thought of it. So Mr. Rich Stag asks, in terms of the new sim, how will you guys prepare to make the transition between X-Plane 11 and P3D? Would you guys camp at your gaming battle stations all night until release, especially with add-on compatibility? What are your guys' thoughts about Microsoft Flight Sim being the new revolutionary flight simulator?
Yeah,
Let's
I'll just
start-
go ahead and take it
yeah,
right
let's start
now.
with Brad.
I am going to camp at the battle station here at the studio for sure. I did the same thing for Active Sky for X-Plane, and
Okay.
I'll do it again for the new flight sim.
Yes,
so, yep, I'll be camping here at the studio, and the new thoughts are that it's looking pretty cool. So, look forward to flying it.
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
John?
Max, what do you got to think?
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I mean, will I buy it? Yes. Will I enjoy flying it? Yes. Will I still fly P2D? 1,000,000%.
Yep.
If there's any sim that will take a back seat to me flying 2020, will be X-Plane. I mean,
Yep.
that is just pretty much how it's going to be. So that would be my take.
Until
on
the
it.
Hot Start
Agreed.
Challenger comes
Well, yeah,
out,
it's-
or the
well,
Q400,
Right,
or the
right.
I agree,
Q4XP.
though.
But from an
Yeah.
overall point of view, P2D will still
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
X-Plane will continue to drop. John?
I will say for me, I don't know of. I think I know of 2 people, and they're just trolls that won't be flying and trying this new sim. If you're into simulation, this is the thing to try. I'm telling you right now, I'm not expecting everything to work day one of release for me personally. So yes, I'm going to be reverting back to my GA, my Aerobask, Diamond DA62, or I might be reverting back to the Flight Factor 757 in X-Plane, or I'll be going back to the FS Labs A320 because maybe on day one or month one or even 6-month mark, we may not have all of these wonderful sim platforms as far as aircraft are concerned available for the sim. In time, if developers are smart, they're going to make everything just as friendly and kosher and working in this new platform. But the beauty of the situation is we have options. And I honestly believe that, well, from what I've heard, it's not going to release until at least fall, if not winter. And that's just rumors, right? Fourth quarter is what's been talked about, the whatever. It would be great if they released before Flight Sim Expo. And by the way, Microsoft, we love you. Asobo, we love you. Please come to the Flight
Please
Sim
come to
Expo.
Expo.
Yeah.
Please come to Las Vegas and talk with us. Let us buy you a tequila or 6 because we need you there. And I will
Won't
say
drink
to
it,
you
though.
right now, the whole idea that the PMDG NGXU is going or NGX3 is going to be available day one. Okay, that is huge. That is gigantic because we know that the LNAV and the VNAV and the FMC work. We know, and I can tell you right now, the percentage of planes that are quote PE worthy will determine the percentage of P3D versus the new sim versus X-Plane for CitationMax.
Well, I think from a streamer's point of view, and we've had this issue before, even when we've been streaming, is as a streamer, I think you got to have 2 sims. No matter what, you got to have 2 sims because always one is broken. I mean, it's just.
Only in your sim pit is one broken. Totally, Brad. Oh my God, what I fixed? What's going on, Brad? What's going on? Yep.
Redundancy.
But I think
You gotta have redundancy.
you gotta have
Everything
redundancy. Always one is broken. So if you can have, you gotta have 2 sims as a streamer because one's always broken. But no, I think John kind of hit the nail on the head again. I think it will be Q4, if not 2021. I think when people say stuff's Q4, I always give one more quarter on top of that. So I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a fantastic sim, but I think let's kind of be a little bit, open-minded about it's a brand new sim getting released. There is going to be some learning curves and a bunch of stuff that, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that is terrible. It's a brand new sim. It's not going to start out perfect. No sim has ever started out perfect. And I think if we can go in with that mindset and if the PMDGs, the PEs, because we love Keith, right? All those people and the FS Labs and all these airplanes, come out with it when it initially comes out, I think that will help really get the operating system to the next level. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Good one. Very good question.
Pug, if I may, I have a pretty good one sitting right here. If you wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
go.
me reaching this one, this is
You've got
actually a
this.
pretty great one here. Stream fatigue. Have we ever dealt with it, and how do we manage it? Stream fatigue.
Wow.
That's
Man.
something a little bit different. I kind of like that one. That's
It's a good question. Puck?
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, Puck, take the wheel.
Yeah, I'll start with that one. That's a good one. Yeah, I think I hit it. I think I get it more than others. Brad, you've been doing these 3 days a week for the last God, at least year and a half. Ever since you brought out that specific stream schedule. Because I remember Brad M before the camera. And it was a little bit all over the place. It was definitely about 3 per week, but we didn't really have a set day.
Usually 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was at least, yeah, and it was quite a bit.
9 hours a night. Yeah, it was pretty wicked.
And there is a point where you do hit a burnout. I've been hitting the burnout more and more lately just because of I'm doing school, I'm doing work, and I'm trying to get IRL flying in as well. And just sometimes schedules don't match up. I'm trying to juggle all of these different things, and so my weekly schedule changes so much that I'm not able to to sit down and set a specific schedule. And I think that's what really sets the burnout, is just if you're not able to meet a certain schedule, you're trying to push and put everything together, and that's where my problem comes from. And I think the reason that I've kind of gotten out of a burnout of streaming is based on iRacing. Like iRacing's huge for me at this point. Just being able to go out and do what I've loved for the last 10 years and now do it at a competitive level. Okay, Dusk, thank you. But yeah, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yeah, that's kind of where I come from with fatigue. What do you guys think?
Brad?
I gotta say, I've been pretty much lucky enough to not hit it. Yeah, the whole 6 nights a week, 9 hours a night thing back, almost 2 years ago was pretty brutal for a bit. But I was so gung ho honeymoon phase, I just couldn't help myself. But once I kind of settled down and kind of got things squared away, I'm a huge planner. With the background, I plan everything in my entire life out very, very, very methodically to a certain degree. And I think that I've been pretty lucky enough to not hit any of those burnouts basically since I kind of got my whole schedule set, whether it's like, travel for work or just leisure. It's been able to, kind of get me away for like a week or two and stuff like that. But you go away for 4 days, you're starting to miss, coming back here and flying the sim. A bunch of stuff ends up getting released and you miss hanging out with the guys and stream. And so, being away for a little bit, whether it's your choice or not, can definitely make you kind of have a renewed sense of enjoyment, I would definitely say. But I've been very fortunate that I have not yet encountered like, the ultimate burnout or so, rather just kind of overall. So I don't know. I love doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to kind of second what Brad was saying. I've been fortunate not to hit the burnout, and I think partially that's due to diversity. I think as a streamer, if you're doing diverse things and I think the closest I've ever been to approaching that, like, you kind of stare at Sky Vector and you think like, oh man, where am I going to fly today? Is when you look at streaming a little bit closed-minded. Like, I'll give you an example. When I said to myself, I'm only flying on Pilot Edge. That was an example for me of when I'm just so kind of not from streaming, but I was burned out from flying the same areas, the same airports over and over again. And for me, when I started to expand my horizon and on VATSIM and all that stuff, we're flying to Paro now. We're doing all sorts of stuff. It's different. It's new. It's diverse. I think if you have that thing and you're flying different airplanes you don't know and all that kind of stuff, then I still feel like every time I hit the live button, I feel fresh. I think I streamed like, 14 days in a row. And every time I hit that live button, I was like, oh man, I'm pumped. I'm excited to do this today. I'm pumped to do this. Like, and you would think after 14 days, you'd be like, oh my God. But no, I was like, I wish I could have kept going and going and going more. And I think diversity is key and you keeping it a balance, right? That's why I do not have a streaming schedule. I think I've been, very honest about that because, I love you all, but if I have, a date at night, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stream. But I have the flexibility that I can stream in the afternoon or in the morning. You know what I mean? If I don't have work. So I feel like if you can balance the schedule, you love Twitch, you're diverse with your streams. That's what I do, and I love having and I love doing it. And honestly, I don't think it will ever end. If you have, that's how I do it, and it just works for me. Just like how Brad has his way, how he does it.
Well, just also, Max, for you, this is a thank you to you, because I think with PE, when you gave the donut for my first month of PE, that probably, saved me from burnout in advance, right? Having something totally new and different to experience. And the same thing with P3D. Also, again, maybe before it even occurs, saving you from that burnout. It's just something so new and so different, those two things in itself. So, yeah, a big thanks to you for that. But I think that's kind of, just like a bit of a precautionary measure, essentially. Just kind of, that's, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I think it also, sorry, just one quick thing. If you have to have a life. You have to be in your life to be able to enjoy streaming. You got to have something outside of Twitch. If you don't have that, it becomes too much and it just starts to go. And I think if you can have your outside life, if it's going out for dinner with friends or going to a concert, and then you come home and Twitch or whatever it might be, that
Or
is
changing diapers.
or changing diapers.
Whatever
right?
it
So
is.
on that note, John, I'll pass it over to you, and you can.
I was just
flip
gonna,
through your-
great content. I love to hear, and I got to be careful that I don't burn out, because again, I hit that 2,000 freaking hours, and I've been doing this since 2015, since the day I found Josh Gibbs and Marcus MMC and others, and then soon thereafter Max and the whole crew back in the day. I haven't burned out yet, but I will tell you right now, there may have been a point where I got to that X-Plane level that I'm so grateful to have expanded my horizon, which has extended any sort of, there's no burnout. I literally look forward to streaming, and I love going back and forth between the platforms, right? But I will say to you the other day, and I encourage you guys to do this sometime in the future on your streams, try to get someone else to come in that has a different vantage point, because I've been so blessed by having these real world pilots. I had and you saw it the other day. You mentioned it. Matt. You said, John, did you really stream for 9 hours the other day? You said that to me, and the only reason why, and I was sick, and the only reason I did it was because I had a real world 787 captain who was a couple years from retirement with decades of experience. And I fired up the Quality Wing 787, and I had this adrenaline rush, and I just kept going. And it was not only fun for the people in chat and for the people that watch the VOD later and on YouTube later, it was fun in the moment, and it was amazing that I was able to go that, because I used to be able to do 7-8 hours, on 2-3 days a week, whatever. But nowadays I typically do about 4 hours, and then 4 hours on like a Saturday or a Sunday, and then sometimes on a weeknight. And I find it very difficult to go live on Tuesday and Thursdays for some reason. I wonder why.
I agree. I agree.
It's
with
too
that.
much entertainment to watch, and if I can't be in two places at once, so I've got to choose. Kudos to Brad for putting together some amazing content. And aren't we grateful that Max is going live in the afternoons, that we can just like tune in and catch this awesome, all of his awesomeness. So yeah, don't burn out. Variety, switch it up. And if you're doing just primarily P3D, go to X-Plane for a little bit. If you're doing primarily the other, go to the other. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, agreed.
That's a good
Very
question.
good.
And a little bit of Wreckfest and trucking.
Truck your butt off.
I see Zach the pilot is still in chat, so we'll do a question of his. This is kind of centered towards you and I, Max. For the IRL pilots in here, when you were looking for a place to get your PPL done, what was the most important aspects that you were looking for with your training? The largest thing, like the biggest thing for me was, did I get along with the instructor? At that point, money doesn't matter, because if you can get your PPL in the shortest amount of time, I got my PPL at 41.5 hours, which
Phenomenal.
the minimum is 40. And this was before I even started doing flight sim. And the minimum was 40. So my instructor, we just clicked together and we got everything done, and we did everything efficiently. I enjoyed going out to the airport. I never had a dull moment. So I think that's probably the biggest reason that I was able to do it quickly and efficiently and saved a ton of money. You usually are supposed to budget between like $10,000 and $12,000 for your PPL. I did it in a 172. I think it was $130 per hour wet. I think I only spent $7,000 on my PPL. So if you find the person that you think you'll get along with the best, and you study your butt off, you're going to be great. So definitely CFI and have a drive to learn. That's my biggest thing.
I'm also going to say that you guys are posting a lot of questions in the chat room. If you put them in the forum, if we don't get to them tonight, we'll queue them up for the next one. So don't yeah, we can't keep track of all the questions in chat. There's a lot of them coming into the chat where we apologize for not being able to address them.
My biggest one was keeping Citation Mom happy. That was strictly it. She wouldn't let me do flight lessons, so that was really the biggest thing going into me learning how to fly was, and the challenges of that was getting my mom to be happy with me getting an airplane. And you can say, you know, I was 17, 18, and, you know, I was a big boy, but Jewish mothers are pretty tough. So, you know, that was the struggle. We went to probably 10 or 15 different flight schools until we finally found the Cirrus and the parachute, and that's what kind of got her over it. But you know, there are triumphs. There's all sorts of ups and downs during that process. But I think what Puck said, having a instructor that you gel with is key, because you don't want to just go to the airport and like, oh, I'm going flying today. You want it to be like there is a partnership between you and your instructor, and he is as much, you know, involved and dedicated to you getting your license as you are trying to make him proud, and you trying to, you know, wanting to do him and make him proud. So I think if you can get that balance, that is key. Instructor, I think is pretty much number one. I mean, I've done my commercial multi with someone who was just, to be honest, just not engaged at all. I knew more about the airplane and more about flying than he did, and he was just there just to sign me off, and that was it. Compared to other ratings I've done with other instructors where they care, and I think that's my biggest thing. You find an instructor that cares, you're on your way for success.
Interview more than one, you know.
Yep.
Yes.
Check out 2 or 3. It's an interview. You're the customer, and also make sure that you don't get an instructor that is there just to get to the regional airlines.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was a mistake I made a long time ago.
I got lucky with mine. My instructor was he was in the Air Force. He didn't fly, but he was an Air Force mechanic. He taught me everything I know about airplanes. When it comes down to systems, engines, I can go through every nook and cranny of my Bonanza and tell you exactly why it's there, exactly what it does. And that's because of him. He sparked a love of knowing your airplane. And if you don't know your airplane, you really shouldn't be flying it. And I still text with him every once in a while. The next time I go down to the Milwaukee area in Wisconsin, I'm going to go out and get lunch with him. I'm going to pick him up in the airplane, and we're going to go off and go to an airport diner. So
It's a pity Max is not an instructor. I'd have a lot of logged out. Dang it.
right?
Maybe one day, John. Maybe one day.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing. You got to gel with it, and you have to enjoy it. Very good question. Thank you for that. Here's another very good one when it comes to the Twitch, the Twitch realm. Might not be a very good one, but do you guys ever feel like celebrities when you're known in certain circles? I'm gonna say no, just because I know I'm a regular old Joe, and if people know me, cool, thanks, hi, we're friends.
Let's face it. The flight simulation category is uber small. It's micro. It is so small. We out there. It's just a small niche of people, and so yeah, we may be known in a few little tiny flight sim circles, but it's just nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly,
although I will say, in exception to that, I do predict that CitationMax and his personality with the YouTube channel is going to just blossom. How awesome is it going to be to watch over the next 5 or 10 years? This amazing following.
Just don't forget about us.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll just do twitch.tv.
When you get that big plaque in the mail, don't forget about us. All right.
No.
But I'm serious. I think his channel is going to continue to grow because it's just quality content. We're immersed, and there's this side channel of simulation. But Max, well done on your YouTube channel. I know there's several people here that are here from your YouTube channel.
Well, I appreciate that. No, I think to answer the question, I feel like I'm more of a viewer than I am a streamer on Twitch, and that is because I watch way more than I stream, and I love to watch other people stream. So that's kind of how I feel about it. For me, there's no better thing than sitting in front of my computer at lunchtime and watching a Brad, a Puck, a John, a Black Box, a Josh, whoever it might be, stream. So I feel like I'm still a fanboy for a lot of these guys as much as I am a streamer. So that's how I do it. Yeah. Brad?
Yeah, I mean that's a weird question to answer. There are certainly some viewers who hardcore worship some streamers, but I think we're all just here enjoying a hobby at the end of the day, and that some of us are very lucky to be able to be in certain positions that we are to kind of display and you know showcase that hobby to others. But I don't know, it's just kind of it's a weird feeling really to be able to you know kind of have people watching you fly flight sim and you know hang out with you and chat, and you know it's one of those things, but we love doing it also, you know, watching other guys stream as well. So we're not
I
any
mean,
different than
yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yep.
yeah. That's it.
Well said.
I think
Just
if we
got
find it
extra
weird,
100
then
stock
that
options.
yeah, I agree. All right.
All right, I'm going to answer this question really quickly. Virtual asked the question before asking this question. Why don't you stream concurrently on Twitch and YouTube? It's just down to Twitch. Twitch doesn't allow us to stream on 2 platforms at once. Otherwise, we face me losing my affiliate, or me and Max, I guess, losing our affiliates, and John and Brad losing their partner. So we're not allowed to do that. But we are allowed to post it onto YouTube after 24 hours after the VOD was complete. So there's that. And the VOD's going to be on Mr. John Fly's channel, hopefully tomorrow. So
Yep.
please check that
Give
out.
or take. Yeah.
Yep.
Give or
John
take,
Fly
yeah.
on YouTube.
We got to
John
coordinate the
Fly on YouTube.
download from
Yep.
and
Yep.
etc. But
Within the
that'll be
next few days.
that'll be a good video.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure. The question, you know, it's kind of funny. We partners often, you know, we each have our contracts with Twitch, but I still cannot get a straight answer from anyone whether or not I'm allowed to stream on a different platform at the
No.
you know,
I mean,
independently.
well,
Independently. Not at the same
independently,
time.
yes, you are allowed to stream on a different platform. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Brad
Concurrently,
says I
though,
can.
at the
I'm going to
same
use that in
time,
court.
You're absolutely. I will
Okay.
testify in front of a judge and jury for that. But yeah, at the same time as Twitch, yeah, they're
love
not. Gonna,
Twitch.
yeah, they're not going to like that one. We do love Twitch. We love you a lot, Twitch. If you're watching this, I know you will, but
We love
love you.
Twitch. We
yeah,
love
we love
Twitch.
Twitch. Yep, YouTube is
Love Twitch.
number 2.
Second
so,
fiddle.
yeah.
Yep.
Don't worry, Twitch. Yep, second fiddle. Yep, we love the first fiddle.
We love the.
The first one.
Unfortunately, sorry, I just saw Mr. Chu. Unfortunately, that's not true as well.
Yeah, I think
It's
they
also in
changed it
our
for affiliates.
terms.
Yeah.
It's the same for affiliates.
I think
We
the
can post-
original situation that was allowed, but then I think they changed it. So
Yep.
I don't know. It depends on the wording of your contract, because
Yeah.
you know even affiliates can negotiate their contract, but partners
We can-
definitely
affiliates can post to YouTube immediately. Partners have to wait 24 hours to post
Yeah,
VODs.
And
to YouTube.
non-affiliates can just do really whatever they want.
Yep.
Basically, they're allowed to just they can stream to all 3 if they want. It's not a problem.
Restream.
Restream, yeah,
Yep.
whatever it is.
Yep. Yeah. So there's that. Max, this one's for you really quickly. Hardest thing about single pilot ops in the Citation?
Hardest thing is, I mean, I wouldn't consider it hard. I would say staying ahead of the
Lonely.
airplane. No, I think staying ahead of the airplane. I think that would be the hardest thing. But once you get your flow, once you become comfortable in the airplane, it's become second nature. But I would say if there's one thing that is a challenge in the beginning is just making sure you stay ahead of the airplane. If you do that, it's a piece of cake. And bathroom breaks. Yep, that's true.
Breaks.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting in the CJ now when it can do longer legs, 5-6 hours. The potty John's gonna get some use, I think.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, have you seen it? The portable thing that you gotta
the
it's
funny
like the
thing
gel.
is during your live stream the other night, right? So CitationMax, if you know everyone here should be already watching him, but there might be 1 or 2 stragglers that aren't watching him on YouTube and Twitch. He was live streaming on Twitch, and we heard the passenger briefing, and the words out of his mouth were, "There's the bathroom, but we really only use it in the case of an absolute emergency, but if you need to use it, all right.
Yeah.
Protect the bathroom.
Well, and that's and if you're flying single pilot, you can't leave that seat, right? So it's basically called it's a potty john, right? Right? What's it called, Puck? Basically it's
Yeah, it's a
gel.
potty john, something like
It's
that.
gel, and it's not a very pleasant experience. So basically, stay young
Yeah.
and hope your bladder doesn't get old. Basically, is what you got to go with. But yeah, that's
There you
probably
go.
the hardest thing. Yeah.
Yep. Good
Let's leave
one.
just a few minutes. I don't know how many questions we have left in the official
A
queue, but we'll
lot.
leave.
We have 15 questions, but half of them we probably already answered.
Because I do want to I did promise people that we could answer 2 or 3 or 4 from
Yeah.
the live chat. So I don't know when you want to transition. If you could filter out some good ones.
Yeah, here's one for Mr. X19 Air. Good to see you, Anson.
What's up, Anson?
For each of you, what one thing could you point out that is special about your community? Ooh, that's a good one.
I think that
You guys want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I think it's the passion that everyone has for what we do. It's an example of if I'm streaming an airplane and I do something wrong, everyone's like, Max, try this, do this, try that. No, that try this, that works. That is the passion. The viewers itself are so dedicated to this community and so passionate about airplanes. That is what gets me excited. That's what pushes me to do better things. But I think it's the passion, it's the dedication, it's the love of airplanes and aviation that I think what makes this community, to be honest, the best on Twitch because of that. I mean, it's intoxicating. That's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brad?
Yeah, I think it's just the camaraderie. I mean, I think kind of the stream is great as it is, whatever, who cares? But the Discord kind of is where like the real meat and potatoes is. That's kind of where the sausage is made. I mean, we all kind of rally around the whole like post stream hangout in Discord, and there's more likely than not 10, 15 of us hanging out in Discord post stream, just chatting, and a lot of camaraderie, and kind of like the hardcore guys hanging out, and just we play games, we talk flight sim, we just banter and stuff, and we're all kind of just real friends essentially. So I think it's just the camaraderie and the sense of kind of friendship and wholesomeness that we all kind of have together with that. It really boils down to that essentially at the end of the day, because you can just click off a stream, but kind of hanging out and being a bit more involved, that's kind of I think where I maybe excel a bit more in, if you will. I don't know. I don't know. We all just we all love hanging out and just being friends.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever laughed so hard before in these after Discord streams. I mean, I honestly, Brad sounds like he's screaming on the floor. I'm on the floor. My headset's been thrown somewhere. I'm done.
Yeah.
It just your insides are just on fire because you're laughing so
Yeah.
hard.
Yep.
And I think
My wallet got dinged last night because of After Hours Brad Emerson.
and
then my hard
and the
drive
gongs,
got
yeah.
toasted.
Anyway, sorry.
Because
Yeah,
Call
go
of
ahead.
Duty inbound. But as far as my community, we all have a lot of overlap. All 4 of us, we have a lot of overlap of viewers, but I will say that a lot of my guys, it seems to me that a lot of them are just they are willing to work with me, who flies 39 different planes on the stream. Now lately it's been down to about 6 or 8, but they give me they give me that they don't look down on me for not remembering the PA-31 Cheyenne, whatever plane I'm flying. They'll help me. Oh, it's over here. It's over here. It's over here. So I love the fact that they have the patience to. In turn, it helps others in the chat remember how to do a particular operation in a plane. And so the patience and the amount of technical support and the amount of just SOP stuff that we get from our chats is amazing. And of course, I have to give a shout out to the Snack Air, snackair.com, SNAKAIR.com. We have 100 pilots flying for us. So we have that commonality, and there's a loyalty to the Snack Air family. There's the logo there. And we have that FS economy aspect of our game. And I encourage anyone out there that, have an aspect of your stream that takes it away and adds an extra element of what Max said earlier, variety. And what Puck and Brad have touched on is just variety and mix it up. But I have a sincere, like seriously am affected. Like when I've gone through family tragedies in the past couple of years, you can't believe the amount of people of Twitch viewers who have reached out in support of me, and vice versa. We've had guys in the community that have had health issues, and other people in the
Yeah, jeez,
Discords
yeah.
and in the Twitch chats are just like,
It's
"Hey,
family.
we're prayers are with you.
Yeah.
You know, we're thinking about you. We
Yeah.
wish the best for you because as much as we love this community of being connected, we also are very aware of people's personal circumstances, and so it brings us closer together because at the end of the day, it's not about that botched landing that I did into Burbank, you know, a year and a half ago on Pilot Edge where I died. It's about the fact that this guy's going through some real world troubles. Let's build him up. Let's make him feel better. Let's give him some goosebumps. Let's make him a friend and a family. So, yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing.
And building off of that, another question, since we're going to knock these out pretty quickly, building off of that, Homie asks, how do you feel with the negativities or the negatives from streaming flight sim from people watching you? I can probably go towards that a little bit better than most because I think I've felt that a little bit more. As you guys know, I'm out there. I'm upfront about everything that I do in flying, and I'm not afraid to show my opinion. And yeah, there's some occasions where I let other people get the best of me, which of course as a streamer you shouldn't. Just as a normal, like a regular person, you shouldn't. And I think the thing that I do to deal with it, I go fly. I fly IRL. Like
Blow it
legitimately,
off. Yep.
I'll go, and if I'm peed off one day, I will go out to the airport and I'll just go and hang out with my work friends, or I'll go to Starbucks, grab a coffee, go flying. That's what I'll do. Or I'll race and I'll stream racing,
Blow
and
it off. Yeah.
you get so many different sides of it. And going back to the whole community thing, I have like a core group of people that they know when you're not doing great. Like they know when you're not feeling okay, and they're like, they always ask, "Are you okay? How you doing?" That sort of stuff. And yeah, it's honestly, streaming is fantastic. It's amazing. It's
Amen, brother.
Yep.
yeah.
Uh-oh,
So-
Sim Crash Mike is cutting me off.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Okay, John.
Cut me off. He's like,
Oh man. Jeff, just to answer your question really quick. This is the PB&J+M podcast, or
or
PBJ
C,
to
we
the
don't know
max.
which. Yeah.
This is it's a flight sim stream podcast, IRL flying, honestly anything at this point.
Are we going to the chat room now? Should we interact?
Yeah, we can. I guess all of these we've asked. Yeah, we've already. Yeah, we've
All
answered
right.
these before.
It's now your time and opportunity to ask away in the chat. And we'll
Yeah,
just go
you guys.
emotes. We can respond to the
We
emotes.
still have like 10 plus questions to get to, though.
Yeah.
Do we
I mean,
really?
there's still-
Do you,
yeah,
do you
there's-
have, do you see, does anyone stick
Wait,
out?
Yeah, this one sticks out about streaming. What's one
What are
thing
you
that you could
wearing?
credit your
No, Ryan.
success to as a streamer?
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one over and give a big thanks to number one John Fly for having me in the GSA. That was monumental. I've
big.
thanked John Fly for this personally, in person. I've given him a big hug and thanked him many
Yes.
times for this, both on and off stream.
At the
and,
restaurant. I remember
At
that.
the
yeah,
restaurant.
and
Specifically, yeah.
John Fly, and Durka, and these guys who I looked up to, who were my mentors, and they're now peers and colleagues, if you will, and these kind of guys who have given me a chance, frankly, when I was just kind of getting my stream going, basically, and they were the ones who got me off the ground. Really, is what it was. Yeah, that's pretty much how it was, basically, back when I first began. So I owe all credit to, Brendan Durka, an incredible human being. I mean, I got the chance to finally meet him at this past expo, and it was emotional. And also John as well. It's just been, it's been, those two guys for me. Yeah. So
Brad,
That's
I'm going to
basically
say
it.
this. I'm going to
Yeah.
say this, and I don't say this to too many people. The GSA helped you with some discoverability. Thank you, GSA brothers. We love you all. And I'm going to tell you right now, Brad, you have the it factor. You took it. You took it to another level, way beyond the need for that extra discoverability. So well done on having
thanks,
the
John.
it factor.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll reiterate
Yeah.
a little bit of that. I mean, when I first started streaming, no one knew me, and it was thanks to the likes of John Fly, who were, Josh, who was streaming, back then. We hope he continues to stream and start streaming more, with the host and exposure. And, I think that was, without that, I think if I started streaming now, I would not have a chance to be anywhere, as kind of a part of this great community, as I am. So I think it's to not sound like I'm copying Brad here, but it's the John Flies, it's the Joshes, it's the Ties, it's all those old school. I mean, back in the day, 4 years ago, it was a different world back then. I remember, Chewy. I got to host some Chewy one day, and I thought the world was over. I was going to take my shirt off, go run around the house. It was like, but it's stuff like that people are just kind and willing to give you exposure. I remember when I was a part of the GSA, it was the same thing. I would start a stream and there'd be 40 auto hosts right away. Boom. I'm like, whoa. And it was that that I think is kind of how you get exposed and why this community is so good. It's guys like John, it's guys like Brad, Puck. The list is on and on and on of guys that say, you know what, I'm willing to let that little guy get some exposure. Give him a chance. Let's see what he has. And it's what Brad said. Brad took it and ran with it and just keeps running and keeps going up that hill and striving for better and better things. So I think if I can take 8% of what Brad does in my stream, I'm going to be in great shape going forward. So yeah.
Thanks, Max.
No, it's really awesome. It's really awesome. And just the last note on the GSA, it's there for us to become, get to know each other and laugh and learn. But at the end of the day, we help each other discover, because some personalities mesh well with some. We just want to see we want to let you know who's out there. We have a lot of new members. I think we're at 48 members right now. There's a lot of new members. Check them out. You can you can click on the the Nut House also has some good members too, because we're streaming under the Nut House tonight. Props to Squirrel. We all have admiration for Squirrel. We know that Chewy and Durka and CitationMax and Squirrel and several others, Northern Alex and a bunch of others are in that the Nut House.
Yep.
We have big admiration for those streamers. A lot of quality content. So well done, Nut House. And yeah. Squirrel I was very honored today. I got a 3-year subscribe from Squirrel, who's a hero of mine.
Wow,
that's
I feel like he's a grandfather of a father, a brother, of the community and of really the Twitch osphere.
And I can say
just incredible.
We hung out in Yankee Stadium with him, Max.
Yeah.
We hung out with Squirrel.
Yeah. I remember that
was
IRL
awesome.
stream that we did at that pier
At that
in
bar.
Chelsea,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that bar.
Yeah.
And next, there's dancing going on, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing. So yeah, no, I completely
Anything
agree.
else stick out,
Squirrel's a
Brad,
legend.
in the questions?
I gotta. Well, I was gonna say, but just on that alone, like on the same kind of principle, Jeff Faviano. After watching him for, I cannot tell you how long. Just a very long time. Actually, meeting him at Expo and then being invited to dinner with him and Captain Canada on Sunday night and having a nice dinner with those guys and their team was something that I don't believe I really truly acknowledged in the moment, but after the fact I was like, wow, I've watched this guy for so long. I've looked up to these guys. This is like something that is afforded to a very few people type of deal, and that same kind of sense of just like, wow, these guys are our friends, our colleagues, and it's the guys that you trust and look up to, and that inspire you kind of thing. So it was a really special moment. So much like your Chelsea stream, I'm sure it was just this kind of the same feeling in that. So even still, we have the guys that we again admire very, 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 very much, and still to this day, obviously, it's I think
and there's going to be some new blood that comes in. Just today we had a real world 737 captain live streaming for the first time on Twitch. So we're going to see new blood come in. Let's embrace the new blood, and let's get to a point where no matter what day of the week it is, what hour it is, we can actually tune into someone that we really enjoy and love to be a part of.
And
sure.
yeah, I agree with that. And Brad, just going back on your whole thing with the whole dinner at Fogo de Chao with Mr. Captain Canada, Smitty, God, Dan, everybody, Jeff Fabiano, his wife, damn it, Dave, all of those guys. It was amazing. And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's something that I think we took for granted for sure in the
Mhm.
moment, but now I'm looking back, just thinking like, I can't believe I actually got to have dinner with those awesome people. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's a wow thing, right? I mean,
hmm And I've been
Yeah.
watching Jeff since maybe 2012, 2013 when he first started uploading on iRacing.
wow.
And I even talked to him then, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just starting to get back into it." And he was like, "That's sweet. I wish I, I wish I would be able to do that." So I might have to try to
That's
talk
cool.
him into it.
Yeah,
And
that
maybe,
I
was
will
that was
go as
a,
far as to say that I think Jeff has one of the best voices.
oh,
for
agreed.
live
He
streaming,
does. It's
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
it's
down.
silky smooth in real
It is
life
just
too.
so we love you,
Mhm.
Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm
Seriously.
gonna offer to take him flying when I'm down in Florida in
And he's gonna do the
in March.
comms with that voice.
I'll let him do
He's
it.
got
Yeah,
a good
100%.
voice. It's easy to listen
100%.
to.
Okay, so sorry, we're
I have
going a
a
little bit
I have a pretty good question to end the kind of the show overall. If you guys are okay with wrapping it up here, I have a pretty good question to maybe
Yeah.
end it with.
Wait,
right.
1 second. Max,
Sure.
this is a question from Naldo. Sorry, Naldo. Naldo to me to you. Any plans for formation flying in the near future?
IRL or in the sim?
IRL.
Both.
There's nothing planned, but
Between you two though.
Oh,
I was
between-
talking
oh,
about
between-
between us two.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I had to put
Like-
the gear down, flaps down, and flaps 35, speed brakes
Yeah,
up. But yeah,
you're gonna stall. You're gonna
but
stall.
yeah, sounds good. Yeah, sounds
You
good.
could rent
Uh,
a 22.
no,
You
no,
could
no,
rent
no,
a
It's gonna,
22.
you're gonna stall it out. Yeah.
no, no,
that's
no. I'm just
tough.
kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I would love to do that. Yeah,
It'd be fun.
it would be fun.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, Mr. Brad.
I want to
take.
be right seat in one of those.
Oh yeah. All right,
That'll
Mr.
help,
Brad.
yeah.
Take it away.
All right, folks. Last question of the evening. So, through all streams you guys have done, what about flying have we learned in the past X amount of years? What have we learned about flying through our streams? Give us your biggest learning moment. What have you learned?
There's just so many things that can go wrong all at once.
I'm going to say how hard flying is, how much
Yeah.
planning goes into it, how much appreciation and effort goes into real world flight planning, and the amount of time and effort that it takes to actually execute that type of event. Again, going on SimBrief and making a flight plan is peanuts compared to real world considerations when lives are on the line, money is on the line, right? It's a whole different ball game. So I think the biggest thing I've learned is that this, again, is just a video game, and it's not anything like the real world in that respect. You got to really, have some appreciation for the guys who are doing it for real, because
No.
yeah, they're working hard. They're working real hard.
We have
I-
profound respect for these real world guys. Max, you're gonna go last because
Okay.
you're hosting this bad boy. So
Sure.
I'm just gonna say that the thing that I've learned. I mean, I've learned so many things, so it's hard to pinpoint which one stands out the most. But for some reason, this one came to mind, and that is in 2020, John Fly needs to be a little more checklist oriented. And the reason I say that is it was funny enough that this real world 787 captain came on my stream and was walking me through the startup routine of the Quality Wing 787. And I said, he goes, do you want to go through the whole checklist, or do you just want to just do kind of a truncated version? I said, whatever switches and things and that are already in that position, I want to bypass this because I want to get going to the meat and bones. Because when I'm trying to join up with a Max or a Brad on the VATSIM PE flight quickly, I'm not gonna necessarily do a fire test, for example. So he says, okay, we'll do what you just need to get going up and running, and we're gonna bypass the checklist. You never do that in the real world, folks. You always follow the checklist. CitationMax follows that checklist on his YouTube videos. You see it. I'm going to try to be a little more checklist oriented for the rest of the year, because this is what happened. We pushed back that Quality Wing 787 and we didn't go through the checklist. And I was looking down at the pedestal, and the 787 captain, who had 35 years of flying experience, said, "Are your throttles at idle?" And I said, "Yeah, they're at idle." And I looked down, and they weren't at idle. And we were about to start with parking brake off and everything, and it would have been Twitch gold. But it was funny how I hadn't adjusted the throttle, but it just goes to show that checklists are valuable, that you just never know. You bumped your Warthog HOTAS, whatever, and it put it into a little bit up. If you start your engines, you're going to have issues. So I'm going to be a little more checklist oriented. I love being here tonight. Go ahead, Max.
Oh wait, hang on. I got something really quick. Honestly, I think the biggest thing was the trip down to FS Expo this last year. I ran into a squall line, and if you don't know how to deal with the squall line, it could rip your plane apart. And the only reason I know about how bad squall lines could be was because of X-Plane, and I flew through one that was very similar to it. I thought I could shoot a gap through two big towering cumulonimbus, and during that flight, we were going to try to fly through the squall line, and I had to actually do a full 180, like a 60-degree bank 180, because the storms closed up. And if I didn't know that squall lines were that bad and these storms move that quickly, I could have gotten ripped apart and been lost in that storm. So that's the sort of thing. You always err on the side of caution, and we tend to not do that as flight simmers as much, just because the plane's fine, it'll make it through it. But when you look at real life flying, you have to be cautious of every little thing.
Or
So
on
that's
pallet.
my biggest take.
Yep.
That's my biggest thing.
There
So,
you go. Good
Mr.
stuff.
Max, take her away.
I think the biggest thing is flying an airplane, you will never be perfect. It is a craft that can never be perfected. It sounds really corny, but I mean, every time I go up flying, I learn something. I never see the same thing twice. It is something that you go into an airplane, and you got to go in with an open mind, a clear mind every time, and never expect the same thing to happen again. But that was the biggest learning experience for me was if you go into it as you're going to have the perfect landing, the perfect flight, everything's going to go perfectly. It's actually going to go worse. And I think that's kind of my biggest point. As what Dub just says there, a good pilot is always learning. It's a really corny thing, and a little bit what M0 says sometimes, but it's really true. It really is true. And I think, as you fly more, you build more confidence and you fly, but you don't let that confidence ever turn into cockiness or into bravado or anything like that. I think you have to go in that you're fortunate to be doing this and flying these planes, and you treat it with the level of respect it deserves. But it's a thing that my friend Greg has said many times is, you fly these airplanes, and now in the sim it's a little different because, we have fun in the sim, we do crazy stuff, but, flying IRL, if our approach speed is 110, we don't fly it at 107, we don't fly it at 112, we fly it at 110. And that is how you have to go about it, flying in the real world. If you can have that mentality, you're gonna do great things in life, and I try to hold myself to that accountability. So that's kind of would be how I'd end it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Been a pleasure, boys. Thank
Everyone,
you for joining, chat.
I just want to say something. John Fly on Twitch, www.twitch.tv/JohnFly, and on YouTube, multi-platform content creator. So John Fly, twitch.tv/JohnFly, and on YouTube.
F-L-Y.
Jon, exactly. Do not make the mistake on putting
No
J-O-H-N.
H. Don't
no
ever
H.
put the
That
H
is
in
how
there.
you get a
You're
hot
gonna lose
600
snacks.
like
Yep.
that.
You lose snacks.
No H.
Again, John, thank you very much for inviting me on to the stream today, onto
Thank
the
you,
podcast.
Max.
This was awesome. Mr. Brad M., Brad M, www.bradm, twitch.tv/Brad M. Yeah. Twitch.tv
Yeah, same thing, guys.
yeah,
It's all the same.
yeah,
no,
same
it all
thing,
works the
same
same.
thing.
Yep, that's all works the same. Yep.
And then he is not on YouTube. Well, he is on YouTube, but you're not really. You don't post stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
I'm no CitationMax, so yeah, just forget that.
But he has done a video with me in the M2, which was awesome. And then Mr. Puck EV is a iRacing connoisseur, flight sim legend, and many other things in between. Twitch.tv/Puck Vanek. Puck, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's also Puck Vanek, and I'm planning on doing a few more like IRL vids in the Bonanza. So yeah, that'll be fun.
All right, so keep an eye out for that on the good old YouTubes. One quick thing: This Year I Not Found just gifted a tier 1 sub to John with an H.
Fly with an H.
With an H.
So
Cheers, Joe.
So thank you, Joe. Appreciate it coming in hot to end the stream. But again, thank you to everyone that was a part of this amazing podcast, vlogcast, live extravaganza today. Again, John Fly, Puck, Brad, thank you so much for having me a part of this.
We got to
And,
host someone, right?
I gotta say,
yeah.
this is the best one yet. I'm just flat out saying it. This is the best one yet.
Yeah.
love
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Sorry, that's
Absolutely.
it's
Agreed. Max
Yeah.
is
Yep.
the cream to the creme de la creme.
I don't know.
the cream to the.
I think Mindy and Janet have to make an appearance on the next one. I think that's what's going to be
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
we have to talk to the
100%.
union and get some stuff figured out, but we'll
Exactly.
make that happen. John's a schmoozer; he can make it happen. I think he's a charmer.
All
All right,
Mr. Max.
Yeah.
yes,
Mr. Phil 77488.
Perfect.
He is on final.
perfect.
Guys,
this
thank you
coming
for
in
the
on.
questions.
Thank you so
guys-
much.
You had
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah,
Thank
that
you,
was
guys.
just
Love you all.
awesome stuff.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank
Yep,
you
see
to
ya.
everyone. See ya. Good night.
Take care.
Good night from the studios. Code share agreement tonight. Brad M, Pucky V, and John
Yep,
Fly. Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.